Good morning, and many thanks for your kind introduction. Very important topic, Asian phenotype. Are we different for diabetes prevention strategies? I'm very grateful to the organizing committee to give me this title, considering that we are in a Diabetes in Asia study group meeting. A bit of history of Diabetes in Asia study group. This idea to hold Diabetes in Asia conferences and to establish DASG, this group, was coined by Dr. Arun Bakshi from UK and from Pakistan, late Professor Abdul Secretary General of Diabetic Association. They met first in Helsinki with this idea. That was the start. In 2007, then, the first steering group committee meeting was held in Kathmandu, Nepal. These were the founder members, Prof. Abdul Professor Mursi Arab from Egypt, Arun Bakshi, Adil Al Sayyed, Abdullah Al Hamaq from Qatar, and Dhurbai and Madhur Bhattarai from Nepal. The purpose was to organize periodic meetings and conferences, to conduct studies to characterize the state of diabetes within Asian region, to promote publication of activities formulating national regional guidelines to ensure governmental and non-governmental organizations' participation, to pursue an active collaboration with national and international organizations, including IDF, WHO, and to encourage the upliftment of human resources to eradicate diabetes or to have primary prevention of diabetes programs in Asia. At the outset, I would also like to remember one of our dear friend, colleague, mentor to many of us who has served as president of Diabetes in Asia Study Group and was current president of IDF till he passed away, unfortunately, and his legacy will continue to inspire us. Coming to the topic, primary prevention of diabetes. Jocelyn was a visionary of diabetes, and he more than 100 years ago, has said when he saw zero point 0.5 million people with diabetes in the United States that a time has come that we should start talking of primary prevention of diabetes. Asia is the epicenter of the global diabetes epidemic, and you can see these numbers. The lighter colors are across the globe, but the darker colors are within Asia and Africa. Darker color means higher number of prevalences, 10%, 15%, 20%, nearly 30%. And this is why we say Asia is the epicenter of the global diabetes epidemic. Again, presented differently from 2000 to 2030 and 45. Apart from the gray bar above, which is other, and a smallish blue bar, which is light blue bar, which is Africa. The rest is Asia, East Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and you can look at the numbers of diabetes. So maybe like you can call 60 to 70% of the burden of diabetes is in Asia. List of top 10 countries in the IDF at least 2021 and 2045 predictions. 6 out of 10 countries are from Asia: China, India, Pakistan, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Japan. Very frightening. And look at the numbers, what they will be in 2045, with entry of Turkey also as amongst the top 10 countries. So, are we really different for diabetes? Yes, physiologically, evidence has shown that Asian people are more likely to develop diabetes than their Caucasian counterparts, or any other ethnic population for that matter. Even for controlling for body mass index and waist circumference, which means that even in normal weight, South Asians are having a higher risk compared to other ethnicities. Same goes for waist circumference. Estimation of body fat by measurement of waist circumference and waist hip ratio. It has shown to be more strong predictor of cardiometabolic dysregulation and diabetes amongst the Asians. So the cutoffs internationally now defined and regarded for Asians are different from non-Asians. So BMI of 18 to 22.9 is normal. 23 by definition in nation is overweight. More than 25 is obesity. Similarly, for waist circumferences, for Asians, men having more than 90 and women more than 80 centimeters is taken as obesity. Just to show or give an idea of the rampant obesity in Asia, this is data from Far East Asia. Look, obesity in Malaysia, 44.2%, or Thailand, or Singapore, or Indonesia. And same number is 10 to for India, Pakistan. Same number is 10 to for Qatar and Jordan. This is a very popular slide. Uh, Nobody can talk of or complete talk of Asian phenotype if they don't show Yajnik-Yudkin slide. And what an amazing description here. Both have a BMI of 22.3. Both are diabetes and obesity experts. He lives in UK and belongs to Caucasian class. He lives in India and belongs to Asian class. With the same BMI, Yajnik looks thinner. But when it comes to body fat of Yajnik is 21.2% compared to Yudkin of 9.1%. And this is the message for Asian phenotype. Liver, visceral, subcutaneous fat in men and women of Asians compared to Caucasians. And studies have found there were consistently higher amounts of hepatic fat among South Asians. Hepatic fat among South Asian, visceral fat among South Asian, subcutaneous fat among South Asian. On top of it, lower muscle mass and beta cell functional capacity of Asians compared with other populations may contribute to ethnic differences, lower muscle mass in Asians. It contributes to lower glucose reservoir status, resulting in ectopic fat accumulation, which we have shown in the previous slide, and increased insulin resistance when excessive fat and calories are consumed by individuals with a sedentary lifestyle. Gestational diabetes, another marker. Asians are more prone to gestational diabetes than their Caucasian counterparts, and repeated studies have shown that, including even the insulin levels, the biochemical markers for the same BMI, like we have heard about Yudkin, the differences in gestational diabetes for insulin resistance are higher in Asians than in Caucasians. Low birth weight on top of it, which is often due to in utero undernutrition, is prevalent in Asian populations and less linked to higher BMI later on. And in fact, we all know this from Barker hypothesis. Low birth weight predisposes to diabetes. High birth weight predisposes to diabetes. And in fact, we all shall be knowing this, that our birth weight cutoffs also need to be defined and be defined for Asians, and which are there now. 2.2 kilogram to 3.5 is normal birth weight now for Asians. Because of this low birth weight predisposing to diabetes, then if the catch up is early, the earlier the post delivery, postnatal period, the earlier the catch up is done with weight and BMI, the higher the development of insulin resistance and later on diabetes. Childhood obesity is another Asian problem now, or issue which is more in Asians. 37 million children under the age of 5 are overweight. Almost half of them live in Asia. We did a study ages ago, and our children at that stage were having all biochemical markers predicting towards diabetes. Anup Mishra from Delhi, India has done a lot of work in childhood obesity and in children. And we, at that stage, were alarming the media and through media, the policymakers that schools need to be targeted for prevention of childhood obesity and later stage diabetes. On top of it, Asians may have a lower ability to secrete insulin and thus have less compensatory reserves when challenged with unhealthy lifestyle. So it's a paradox. And because of it, postprandial hyperglycemia is more common. One, because of the traditional Asian diets. One, because of the dynamics of the beta cells and the insulin secretory pathways. On top of all that, when we come to genetic susceptibility, as genetics today was not the lecture, the talk was phenotype. Genotypically, we are also more prone to diabetes. But that is further aggravated, or the main factor are the phenotypic changes which we have discussed up till now. So Asian populations have unique phenotypic traits that affect their risk and prevention strategies for diabetes. Recognizing and addressing these differences allows for the development of more effective, culturally sensitive prevention models tailored to Asian communities. And this is important to realize that when we are talking or representing diabetes in Asia study group, talking in India and Ahmedabad in Diabetes India, and then majority of the audience and participants being Asians, we need to realize that preventive strategies also need to be defined as per our phenotypic variations and as per our needs, cultural needs, socioeconomic strata, educational needs, ethnic needs, that we shall have our own primary prevention strategies. For massive screening, we are suggesting risk scores. This is how the first step will be for running any primary prevention program in the community to have a risk score. We developed our risk score in Pakistan, obviously with longitudinal studies and validating them. And we have got scores in India, in Germany, in England. But this is our for Pakistani population involving 3 questions. And if the total score is 4 or more, a person is at the risk of developing diabetes. Now, we are educating a primary prevention program on the basis of this score, and it takes only 30 seconds to know if one is at a risk of diabetes or not. And the questions are very simple. The simple questions are age, family history, and waist circumference. I here would like to appreciate Prof. Peter Schwartz for his dedication and commitment to IDF, but in IDF he has got this place because of his dedication and commitment to primary prevention of diabetes. And on this ground, he has been to Pakistan quite a few times. In fact, maybe not as many as he has been to India, but yes, he has been to Pakistan 6 to 7 times. Professor Late Samashera, Venkat Narayan, Adil Al Sayyed, and Peter talking of primary prevention of diabetes. We are also involving celebrities, actors. Wasim Akram, we know, is a living legend, now a diabetes ambassador, not only for Pakistan, but for the region and globally. And this is, we have launched Pakistan Diabetes Prevention Program, courtesy of Pakistan Endocrine Society, which is one of the largest societies of diabetes endocrine in Pakistan. Similarly, activities are being done in Bangladesh. So this is BADAS and their diabetes awareness campaigns, preventive campaigns, Bangladesh literature for primary prevention. China, having Healthy China 2030 Diabetes Prevention and Control Action Plan. Turkey, the Turkish Diabetic Association starting Arrest diabetes project, all in the same line. Indonesia, prevention and control of diabetes in Indonesia. India, launching a national program for prevention of diabetes, cancer, etc. So we know the numbers, we know the burden. No healthcare system in the world can deal with these numbers to provide clinical services on their own resources. And in future, if this explosion continues, then yeah, every government will fail to deliver the health to such billions of people with diabetes. So the only key is understanding the phenotype, the necessity of primary prevention, the strategies to be needed for primary prevention, and to take them further. I'm now coming to my finalist slides that primordial prevention strategies instituted in potential mothers through prevention of malnutrition and uterine childhood, through healthy diets and adequate physical activity, an important additional elements. And that's why we have already started to say that if we talk of NCD prevention, if we talk of diabetes prevention, we shall talk of integration of diabetes policies with maternal child health. It's the early programming. We have to think of primordial prevention before we come to this stage. I'll now discuss some of the RCTs which we know are there for primary prevention. And finally, I'm just summarizing it because we have shown by trials in India, in Pakistan, in Japan, in Germany, in USA that primary prevention studies work. So my final slide is summary of it that we as South Asians are we phenotypically different? And answer is yes. And again the summary is abdominal fat, insulin resistance, high level of C-reactive protein, etc. etc. Because of time constraints, I like to finish off by introducing that now I'm very, very privileged to join Indus Hospital and Health Network, which has main concerns for primary care and public health initiatives. They have got mobile clinics, porta-cabin clinics, mobile vans, mobile hospitals, in fact. They have got boat clinics, and they are talking not only of tertiary care or secondary care, but primary care, public health initiatives, youth engagement, frontline health workers to be developed, community engagement, pre-primary care. And these are the interventions we need to concentrate if we want to have successful primary prevention programs and strategies in Asia. I would like to thank you all. My special thanks to the core group of Diabetes in Asia for inviting me, Diabetes India for organizing this setup. Special thanks to Banshi Sabu and his team. I'm also very grateful to European Association for the Study of Diabetes. They have started, and we have in fact got the privilege to have sessions in ESD, and ESD is now invited to DASG platforms. Likewise, increasing collaboration with International Diabetes Federation, South Asian Health Foundation has been great to honor us by their presence. I thank you all, the audience, for your patient listening. Thank you all.